guys, I think we finally got our audio problems sorted. Well, to a certain point. I'm here with Ferrets. Hey, say hello, Ferrets.
Hello.
Alright, let me go through. I will share the video on the screen so you get to see it as well. Dr. Disrespect Go Live. Right. So, what we're doing, guys, is we're going to react to Dr. Disrespect talking about Star Citizen. The main reasons why we're doing this, there's a few. One, he is a big-time Twitch streamer that obviously knows FPS games. I believe he keeps going on about being the second or two-time world champion when it comes to FPS. I'm not sure if that's a meme or if it's legit. I do watch some of his content, but I'm not very familiar with his past history. But also he makes his own game. He's making his own game from my understanding, or has a team making a game that is an FPS game. So it's going to be interesting to see his take on game design. So that's the main reasons why we're doing it. It's because he's going to be more well informed than some of the other people out there. Ferrets, can you see the Dr. Disrespect screen, the video?
I have to make it back to it, but yes.
Right, let's jump into it.
Archangel 6, come in.
Go for 6.
Getting a faint contact on bearing 287. You picking that up?
Yeah, got it. Scanning now.
I like the look of
We're
this.
clear. Commercial vessel out of Vega 3. Provided that the civilian traffic is restricted under lockdown.
Copy that.
Like, is this gameplay? Is this in the engine, or is this, you know,
This is Gary.
production CGI? This looks like it could potentially be in the engine.
7 Bravo Echo for immediate tasking.
So the first thing he talks about there, he says, I like the design of this. I like the look of this. And then he starts asking if this is CGI or in-engine. Now, the fact that he doesn't know if it's CGI or in-engine just goes to show how good the graphics really, really are. Because some
Next
of those...
generation, here we come.
Yeah, pretty much. Because some of these graphics and cinematics are fantastic, right? But they're far better than you'll ever get in-engine. So like I say, the fact that he can't tell is impressive in itself. But yeah, he seems like a little bit confused as to whether it's engine or in game design, or if it's a cinematic. But look, you go.
Copy that. On our way.
I mean, it has to be, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. It has to be, but
He knows exactly what he's talking about there. He likes to play dumb a little bit.
I want to see the gameplay. Hands-on. How fluid is it? It looks really good, though. Look at that. Yes! Let's get serious, please. Let's get some creative talent at some of these places, man.
He says, let's get serious, please. Let's get some creative talent. He obviously doesn't have a very high impression of the games industry. Which is interesting, because like I say, this is a full-time Twitch streamer who has hundreds or millions of viewers, or whatever it is. He's making his own game company, or his own game. And his response was, let's get serious. What do you think that says about the game design for 2023? Like, if he's saying, like, let's get some serious talent into these game engines and into these computer studios, game studios, he obviously doesn't have a very favorable opinion of the gaming industry in 2023, right? Is that what you sort of take away from that, Fizz, or?
With my personal experience, a lot of the games that came out in 2023, they all seem the same. Like, they are just the same concept, just a different looks on it. That's all. I mean,
Cookie cutter games.
mhm.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
I like it. This is what I'm expecting from, in terms of visual fidelity in 2023 at a bare minimum.
And like he says there, like, this is what I'm expecting. So he's obviously been pretty disappointed with some of the stuff that's come out in 2023. Now, he says at a bare minimum, so I don't know if it's a bare minimum or not, but, you know, obviously he's been pretty disappointed with you know, how things have gone.
This type of presentation. Okay, hold on now. Maybe I didn't speak too soon, did I? Let's see. Let's see if they...
I know I just wrote you. But a couple of hours ago, proximity sensors on the other
side of the jump got twigged. Word is it might be that clan we've been battling with. I guess that last fight didn't scare them
off
off.
quite like we all hoped it would. Honestly, we've been out here so long, I don't know what to
Pull for anymore. I just wanted to let you know.
I'll write as soon as I can. Stay safe. Your loving son.
I don't know if it's the video just skipping or if it's the optimization of the scene. Hold on, let's see.
Never gets old, does it?
Sir.
Eddie's.
Is it
I
my
used to
does
do
your
the same
video
thing
do the
when
same
first
thing
coming up.
if you watch this trailer?
Post up to the flight deck whenever I could to watch the launches.
So I don't know what he's talking about there, the video skipping, because obviously it's not on the output, but... Keep going. Or is he talking about the lip sync?
He's talking about the occasional stuttering. And I think that is probably due to like the optimization.
Maybe. We know the optimization on this has not been done yet. It's still yet to be done.
Yeah.
Have you seen the F-8s up close?
No, sir.
What actress is that?
The thing's a beast. Nimble, too.
12
Scully?
maneuvering thrusters and 3 mains.
Yes.
Sure sounds like it. Sir.
Yes, that's who it is.
Captain McLaren to the bridge. Captain McLaren to the bridge.
I saw you apply to the flight academy again.
Yes, sir.
What am I? Let's
Keep
get
your
to the
head up.
gameplay.
Took me a couple times
Here we
before
are.
I got in.
Real fun. This means focusing on the small and large elements of the game, such as dialing in combat encounters, but also looking at the feel of how you control your character or vehicle and making sure it's immersive as possible. We've paid extra attention to how your character reacts when in their ship, so that you feel like an actual pilot, whether that's firing your weapons, taking hits, or punching the afterburners to get to cover. Ship AI has also seen huge improvements, with closer engagement distances and more varied behaviors. And with our new precision targeting mode,
So it's an aerial
action
combat game the
has
whole
never
time?
been as close. With the aim now on polish, we've organized the project into self-sufficient strike teams, so we can focus on individual areas to deliver the best experience.
Oh,
Get out of sight. The cutlass is gonna spot you.
This allows us to bring all disciplines together with a unified vision of enhancing the gameplay by seamlessly blending it with polished visuals, final cinematic performances, and our ever-improving technology.
You didn't see the boat, kid. You're good to keep going.
We're also dialing in gameplay features, such as the ship flight model, for both atmosphere and space, which covers master modes, control surfaces, and our gold standard HUD and MFDs.
All at
Our
20,
interaction
30 frames per
system
second?
for both the
That's
world
okay,
and
they'll
your
optimize it.
character have also seen additional improvements.
So there, someone obviously turns around and says all at 20 or 30 frames a second. And he's like, oh, they'll optimize it. This whole, everything has to be 60 frames a second really does bug me, but, you know. But ironically, also, when Starfield came out at 30 frames, no one really gave too much shits. But, yeah.
Improvements,
They know.
allowing us to hone and craft environmental puzzles unique to each location, while allowing us to tell the story of the world around you.
They know. They'll get it dialed in.
So someone is obviously in the comments going on about like, oh my god, the FPS and everything like that. He's like, no, they'll get it dialed in. So, you know, like I say, he's obviously impressed with everything that he's seen so far. I don't think he's had anything bad to say about the game yet, has he? First, have you?
No?
No.
Said anything yet.
I like this.
He likes it, yeah.
I'm just curious what
The
the...
military multi-tool is an essential piece of equipment for every pilot to integrate all
Like it
attachments
looks
into a
good.
single handheld device, and allows us to create really interesting challenges, including physics-based puzzles using our updated rope tech.
Unidentified vessels. This is the UEE Navy.
Visuals on this game are incredible, huh?
Power down your ships and stand.
So, like he said, you know, he likes it. He says it looks good. The visuals are incredible. So far, everything has been praised.
I just don't know what the gameplay loop is. We're still trying to figure this out, huh?
Stand by for
So there he says he doesn't know what the gameplay loop is, and for that I would say that's naturally not his fault or CIG's fault. This is not a trailer that you put out when the game is about to go gold. This is a trailer to say, hey, congrats everybody, we feature complete. This is what we've been working on. So it's not too far out of the realm of expectations that he would not know what the game is about, because it's not about that. This is not a trailer that's dropped 3 months, like I say, before it goes gold. This is a trailer to say like, hey, this is what we've been working on. So, you know, things like the storyline, mission objectives and stuff like that, it's not openly discussed because that is obviously something that comes out later at a later date. So when he says stuff like that, I don't think that's a criticism of him or CIG. I think at the end of the day, that's just the fact that it's just no one really knows what the storyline is, or hell, we don't even know what half the storyline is. And that's just because of the fact that it's not ready to go gold yet, so they're just being very tight-lipped about stuff.
processing.
Like, what do we do?
Off the coil's eyes. God damn it.
Our scanning, targeting,
Now, my understanding is, to answer his question, about 50% of the game will be in space combat. The other 50% will be on ground foot combat. So, but he hasn't seen the ground foot combat yet. So that's where obviously like a lot of his interest will really come into it, because it'll be interesting to find out what his thoughts on the FPS is.
and marker system has also seen an overhaul, allowing us to highlight only the essential information that you need, such as key objectives, mission targets, and high-level scan information, while keeping your balance, realistic scopes, and practical FPS combat and stealth, which has seen a suite of improvements, from improved looting, weapon feel and balance, realistic scopes, and smoother locomotion. alongside our new and improved FPS radar and scanner that provides you an overview of the battlefield, but at the cost of ramping up your own emissions. We've also seen the introduction of our Maelstrom-powered destructible environment, which adds a layer of dynamism to the experience alongside our improved AI that can now have hundreds of combinations of traits that allow us to create unique and challenging combat encounters that really push your tactical awareness and skill.
There's a lot going on in this game. Call in the advocacy. Get to that turret up top. I like that, I kind of like the UI. Especially like the mini-map.
We play and review the builds regularly and call out action points in each level from start to finish and where we need to improve the gameplay.
Yeah, see, I still don't know what's going on though.
This is an incredibly rewarding stage of development for me and the team, as the ultimate vision of the game is realized, allowing us to craft an experience that we can be really proud of. One specific area that I'm excited to dial in is the feeling of the player interacting with the world around them.
Patching you in.
As it's a core component of Squadron and really grounds the world that you inhabit. We've made sure that any interaction in the environment is physically represented by a character animation to keep you in the moment and fully immerse you in the experience that we've created. Ultimately, this is the final phase of gameplay iteration before we fully transition into optimization and stability on the road to release.
Agent Trejo, this is Colton. Come back. Always trips me out to see terraforming setups like this. Web tried to explain
Is it a
how
single player
atmosphere
game
processes
only?
work.
What about the music?
Really shows how far we've come. Hell is she?
This game looks really good.
The transition of Squadron to polish phase. We've had
So there he says, you know, like, is this a single player? This game's looking really good. So far, I think the only criticisms that he's actually had is the fact he doesn't know what the storyline is. And like I say, that's nothing to do with him or the trailer, because it's, like I say, this is more an announcement than it is a trailer. But generally, he seems pretty positive when it comes to the video and to the announcement. Obviously, we'll see what he has to say at the end once he does his wrap up, but let's keep going.
had the opportunity to find additional moments within the existing narrative to add subtle interactions where appropriate. It's been tremendously exciting to play through these areas and find places to augment the mood, support gameplay, and further embellish our story and
It's the single player of Star Citizen.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I can't believe it. They said I've got to wait another 2 years before I can reapply. So that's why I figured I'd get a job trying in security, because that's you know, I can get some hours flying in the cockpit and whatnot.
The game looks really good. I don't know what engine this is, but
we've also
looks
been capturing
really nice.
pickups for our lead female player character, as well as wild lines for our various enemies that you all will.
Now, the interesting thing here is that he actually, before this, has actually gone through and he watched the video where Asmongold reacted to the actual engine. So it's a reaction of Asmongold reacting, well, Doc reacting to Asmongold. We will break down Asmongold's reaction to this engine in another video at some other day. But yeah, he hasn't realized that this is actually running off Star Engine yet. But yeah.
Will encounter throughout the game on both foot and in your cockpit.
Man, they're bringing in some talent, huh?
Position.
Wow.
Thanks to recently crafted space vistas and
massive budget to make this game. Massive. I wonder what their budget was.
We're now
it's got to
applying this
be
to the rest.
something like this. I would, if I were to guess, just budget-wise. I mean, look at all this. Look at this environment right here. The assets, everything. The amount of actors they have. They have a massive budget, both on the production of the game, development of the game, and obviously, you know, potentially it looks like there's some big marketing can go into this game. I'm gonna say a couple $100 million. It's well over 500 million. I'm gonna say a couple hundred at least.
So the interesting thing there is that he says it's a couple of $100 million, and someone says well over 500 million in the response. The 500 million doesn't go towards just Squadron 42. It also goes towards the game engine, the PU, you know, administration, staff, you know, a whole cost of running the budget of the studio, all of this stuff. So the actual budget for the actual studio for the Squadron 42 part would actually be roughly what he says, about $200 or $300 million. Anything you want to add, Fez, before we jump into keep going? Or
no.
The classics of 70s and 80s sci-fi, but with a modern twist. We want everything you see to feel like it has a soul, its own personality, and tell
you know what?
History long before you arrived.
Hey, I love it, man. Like, give us more AAA. Spend the money. We'll wait.
Connecting tissues.
Give us experiences like
more
this.
Unique challenges we've
more of
to
these.
Overcome for Squadron.
Sounds like he's a fan. What do you say? I love it. Give me more of this. AAA. Spend the money. We'll wait. You know, he obviously doesn't sound like he's got a bad thing to say about it when it comes to the game itself.
Yeah, not yet, no.
Developing our VDB tech to blend seamlessly between tighter
God, the game looks so good.
And into wider space vistas.
I'm impressed.
More compliments.
Has proved incredibly difficult but rewarding, ensuring that Squadron flows seamlessly from one chapter to the next, without interruption. Creating a diverse array of locations is essential to us.
They
Our
really nailed
need to
their
work from a variety of scales. We need to pay close attention to detail, whether we're working in a dirty engineering vent or navigating the debris of a dying star.
They really nailed their scale, huh? Look at the scale of that. It's like perfect.
Who may live there? How would they have survived? And what state of mind may they be in?
This might be one of the best looking games I've seen.
One of the best looking games. Have nailed the scale. By the way, Fez, I don't know if you just realised the map on the Idris on the hollow table.
What about it?
Did you notice it?
I seen the map, yeah, but I guess is that supposed to be something special?
See if we can go back a bit.
On a massive scale, all brought together and designed to be as tangible as possible. We've thought about their function, their age, and tried.
They really nailed their scale, huh? Look at the scale of that. It's like perfect.
Who may live there? How would they have survived? And what state of mind may they be in?
There you go. There's your hollow table working. Fully working in engine. Squadron 42.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I first saw the trailer.
I must admit, it's something I tend to miss actually. I didn't notice that when I first watched the trailer. I was looking out the window and stuff and didn't notice the hollow table was working.
This might be one of the best looking games I've seen. Ever.
We've worked closely with our social teams in delivering a cohesive social experience when you're taking some downtime.
See, that's another actor right there.
Flight and FPS missions.
I know Cyberpunk's
or even missions of the more eerie kind.
Is really good looking for, but it's obviously much smaller in scale in the sense of the world, right?
be introducing new space stations on a massive scale, all brought together and designed to be as tangible as possible. We've thought about their function, their age, and tried to ensure there's a progression in artistic style with each station as you progress through the game. As you can see today, the teams are working incredibly hard, ramping up the detail and quality to match the breadth of our vision for Squadron 42.
Now I know you're all asking, when can I play it?
When can I play it?
When we have the locked release date, you will be the first to know. Now we're in polishing phase on Squadron 42. You will start to see a lot more things coming to Star Citizen, as well as overall progress on the persistent universe.
Wait.
The polish phase can take some time. We have come this far, and we want to make sure Squadron 42 delivers on the promise of being this generation's wing commander. Now, even though there's only a few of us in this video, I'd like to extend a big thank you to all our staff around the globe who have been putting their heart and soul into bringing Squadron 42 to life. And I would like to thank everyone in the community for your patience and your support. To paraphrase Admiral Bishop, when people ask, what did you do in the development of Squadron 42? You can look them in the eye and say, I held the line. I'm proud to stand with you. Thank
Yeah, they got a big budget.
Now, the funny thing is, he's cut the video there and he didn't see the Vandal. I would have loved to have seen his reaction when it comes to the Vandal, but yeah.
And I love it, man. Looks good. It's paying off.
Sounds like he's on board.
I got diarrhea, champs. Let me take care of it.
Right, good to know. Alright, so, but yeah, it sounds like he's generally interested. I know this is not the first time he has been asked about Squadron 42 or Star Citizen. He's generally been pretty positive in the past regarding it as well. But yeah, it's interesting for like a big time streamer who is working on game design to also go through and sort of like get his views on it. I'd love to sit down and have a conversation with him about like the one-on-one aspect of what he thinks of the FPS. You know, but at the end of the day, I think that's where obviously his element really is in the FPS element. But he seems generally pretty positive about it. What are your thoughts, Fez?
I'm happy that other people are starting to finally take a notice, and hopefully soon we can finally sit down and actually play it ourselves.
Yeah, when do you think Squadron 42 might come out?
Next to CitizenCon, wouldn't be surprised.
Do you think we'll get an announcement at CitizenCon or the actual game released at CitizenCon?
I would like to believe a actual full release at CitizenCon.
Yeah, that might be pushing it. It depends on how much polishing has to be done. Polishing normally takes about 12 months. Now this is 28 chapters, 20 plus hours. So it can take 9 to 12 months to do some polishing. So we might get an announcement at CitizenCon for later in the year. I would say probably what we'll probably get is maybe the trailers and the announcement at CitizenCon, followed by a November, December release. But we'll just have to see. Obviously, when we start getting a whole bunch of promo for it, then we'll know. Obviously, things are starting to come out. But apart from that, before we end this video, is there anything else you want to talk about when it comes to this area of it?
Not really.
No. Guys, those are your thoughts in the comment section below. Like I say, Dr. Disrespect is making his own game. He's a big FPS guy, 2-time world champion. So, at the end of the day, he's obviously got a lot of weight in the FPS world. He seems to not have any real major critique of the FPS incidents or instances. So, I'd love to have a chat with him. I really, really would. But yeah, at the end of the day, yeah, I'd love to see what his thoughts on the FPS gameplay are, and maybe Star Marine. But yeah, we'll see. But guys, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, the video's been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. The link to his full live stream and the timestamp will be in the comments below. So if you want to go and check out the actual live stream uninterrupted, you can. But apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you in the verse.